Good afternoon, and welcome to the second public information meeting for the Barwick Road Improvement Project within the city of Delray Beach. Members of the team who are present with us. Members of the team who are present with us today is Mr. Isaac Kovner. He's the City of Delray Beach Project Manager. Jason Kaufman, the Engineering Division Manager for the City of Delray Beach. And I'm Gino Charles, and I'm the Consultant Project Manager for McMahon and Associates. The meeting format today, slide, please. The meeting format today consists of this presentation that will be followed by a question and answer session. Virtual attendees, we ask that virtual attendees, please type your questions and comments in the chat feature for the project team to answer after the presentation. In-person attendees will be encouraged to fill out the comment card that are available by the entrance door. Primarily, this is the second meeting, and this meeting basically will cover what has changed from our last meeting. Consideration was given to the public's input from our last meeting, and that has been incorporated in the project. We met with several of the HOAs and addressed some of their concerns, and that has also been incorporated. Our initial design had impacted a great number of trees, so we also wanted to lessen the impact of the initial design on the trees. And by meandering the sidewalk and the shared use path, we were able to lessen the impact on the trees. Another thing that has changed from the last meeting was several sections of the roadway curb and gutter has been added, and that has been added to minimize the impact on the buried utilities. Also, from our last meeting, 3 alternatives for the driveways replacement at Highland Park were proposed. So the alternative that was preferred by the residents of Highland Park has also been incorporated in the project at this time. The slide that you're looking at now is a map that represents the project. The yellow cordon area is Barwick Road. And as you can see, the project starts at Atlantic Avenue at the south end and ends up at the north end to Lake Ida Road. Next slide, please. This is an overview of the proposed improvements that are proposed for the Barwick Road. The project length is approximately 1 mile. And we propose to repave, the project proposed to repave the existing roadway. We will be adding a continuous sidewalk 5 feet to 6 feet wide on the west side of the roadway. We will be adding a continuous shared use path that varies from 10 feet to 12 feet wide on the east side of the roadway. At the intersection and side streets intersection with Barwick Road, we will provide the ADA ramps and detectable warning surfaces to conform with the ADA, American with Disability Act. We will be improving the roadside swale and the drainage system. Pedestrian level lighting has been added to the project, and we will be updating the signing and pavement marking along the roadway and at the intersecting side streets. Special emphasis crosswalk will be provided at the intersecting side streets. At the intersection of Pine Grove Drive the flashing beacon, rapid flashing beacon will be installed. And also the school flasher that is located, currently exists at by Carver Middle School, will be replaced. Next slide, please. This roadway cross-sectional view represent the segment of Barwick Road from Atlantic Avenue to Fernwood Drive. As you can see, there's along the west side of the roadway, the 5-foot concrete sidewalk, and 5 foot that varies to 6 foot concrete sidewalk is being provided. This section from Atlantic to Fernwood will be primarily curb and guttered on both sides of the road. 2 10-foot lanes, 2 lanes, 10-foot wide will be provided, and also the turning lanes will be 10-foot wide. The area adjacent to Carver Middle School will continue to be striped as it currently exists. The posted speed for that section of roadway, primarily toward the road section of the project, is 35 miles per hour. The proposed lighting will be provided along the shared use path and also along the sidewalk on the west side. And these improvements will be contained within 94 feet to 80-foot right-of-way. Next slide, please. A plan view. This is a plan view of the cross-sectional view that we just saw from Atlantic Avenue to Fernwood Drive. There has been no change from the last time we presented. There's been no change in lane configuration. As one can see, the shared use path is on the east side, running along Carver Middle School. On the west side, running along the Highland Park, the home, mobile home. There is a 5-foot sidewalk and the driveways that will be replaced within that side of the roadway. Next slide. This is a continuation of the previous slide that takes you through that section of Barwick all the way up to Pine Grove Drive, where one can see the flashing beacon at that intersection with Barwick Road, where we have the special emphasis crosswalk. And also along the west side of the road, the new replacement of all the existing driveways will be done. This section, both sides, is curb and guttered. And on the west side, the sidewalk, this is the preferred alternative by the resident of Highland Park, where the sidewalk will be located directly behind the curb and gutter. And existing driveways will be replaced. Driveway width varies approximately 15 feet to 12 feet. The next slide, please. Again, lane configuration has not changed from our last meeting. This section, this plan view takes us to Fernwood Drive, where the project now begins to taper from a wider pavement and is tapering down to a three-lane section. Next slide, please. Okay, this next cross-sectional view is predominant throughout the project. Okay, where we will have a stabilized shoulder will be provided along certain section. There will also be certain section with curb and gutter that will be also provided, but we'll have 3 lanes, turn lanes, for left turn lanes at the developments or private residences and into the side streets. The swale area is located behind the sidewalk on the west side and in front of the shared use path on the east side. Proposed lighting is provided along both paths on both sides of the road. And as one can see, this is an illustration of some of the trees that will not be impacted by the proposed improvements. This is a two-lane section that takes us primarily through the project where we have 2 lanes. At side streets, we have the crosswalk, special emphasis crosswalk, swale provided on both sides of the road, a swale provided at on the west side, back of the sidewalk, and on the east side, the swale is provided in front of the shared use path. And this section predominantly is being taken, within a 80-foot right of way. Lighting is proposed along both sides of the road, along the shared use path to illuminate the shared use path and the sidewalk on the west side. Next slide. Okay. Again, consistently throughout the project, based on the cross-sectional section that we saw, we have 2 lanes, two lanes, one northbound, one southbound, and this section shows a left turn inside Northwest 3rd Street. And again, predominantly swell section with sidewalk and shared use path provided along the project. Okay. On this section, as you can note, there are 8 bus stops located along the west side of the road. And these are bus stops, curb pads, curb bus pads will be provided at those locations. Right now, there's only a stop sign. We will be upgrading the bus pads with connecting to an existing sidewalk. And this is a section where we have curb and gutter along that section of roadway. Next slide. Okay. The next one. Okay. This takes us to Lake Ida Road, where we have a left turn. Okay. Northbound to westbound left turn on from Barwick to Lake Ida. And again, at this section is a curb and gutter is being provided. That is to meet certain criteria with this shared use path, and also to provide to prevent the relocation of some of the existing utilities and provide some protection from some of the trees that are to remain. Okay. As I initially mentioned, one of the proposed improvement was to repave the proposed roadway. As you can, the condition of the pavement is considered to be poor. We have a lot of cracks that extend longitudinally and transverse direction across the pavement, and the cracks extend all the way through the asphalt layer. And there are several patch areas within the Barwick Road section. So what we propose to do regarding restoring the pavement is going to be mill, which is to remove the existing 2.5 inch of existing asphalt, and then it will be repaved with 2.5 inch also in kind of a new structural course. This is a solution that came together in consultation with the FDOT pavement design engineer in conjunction with the DOT district material engineer. This solution is, they have indicated, works well throughout their district in restoring pavement that have been that has some significant amount of cracks. Next. Again, some of the issues regarding pedestrian safety that we wanted to address was to make sure that all the sidewalk is continuous. There is connectivity within the sidewalk on both sides of the road. At the intersection of Pine Grove Drive, we will be providing the flashing RFBs, and this is definitely will be a safety feature to safeguard the students coming out of Carver Middle School. Curb cut ramps, as can be seen, with detectable warning surfaces will be provided not only at that intersection, but at all the side street intersection with Barwick Road. proposed lighting. Next slide, please. This is, back. Okay. We did a lighting analysis along the project limits for Barwick Road. And with that analysis resulted in providing lighting on both sides of the roadway to light the pedestrian level lighting. Only they are 14 foot in height, okay? And those will be installed along the sidewalk on the west side of the road and along the shared use path on the east side of the road. We came up with a total between Atlantic Avenue and Lake Ida Road. We came up with a total of 85 light poles, and 42 light poles are proposed along the west side of the roadway, and 43 light poles are proposed along the east side of Barwick Road. One of our major design consideration was try to minimize the impact on the trees that exist within the road right away and also adjacent to the road right away. Okay, and by meandering the sidewalk and the shared use path along both sides of the road, we were from our initial design, we were able to not remove so many trees. From an initial inventory of 161 trees, from our initial design, we had 83 trees that were earmarked to be removed. By meandering the sidewalk and the shared use path, with our new design, the current design, only 29 trees will have to be removed, and no trees are to be removed on private property. The traffic control, which is definitely an area of concern for residents and along the project limits, was given very in-depth consideration. We made sure that the work will be performed in different phases and to reduce community impact. So the way the traffic will be maintained, no two sides of the roadway will be constructed simultaneously at the same time. Access to businesses and residences will be maintained during construction. There will be some temporary lane closures required, but those lane closures will be conducted during the off-peak hours. And this is certain times of the day because of the Carver Middle School. This is a high pedestrian traffic area certain times of the day, and we will ensure that pedestrian traffic will be maintained so that the pedestrian can go through the project very safely. Next slide. Yeah, what has transpired from the last time, since the last time we met, from the time the design started all the way down to the fourth line, which is a first public outreach meeting. We have, incorporated the review of the project. The initial engineering plans were submitted. We got the review comments both from the city and the comments from the FDOT were incorporated from the project. The input from the public was also taken into consideration. So input from the several meetings that we had with the HOAs have been incorporated into the project. So currently now the plans have reached the 90% stage, and we are today at the second public meeting on November 29. 5 final plans and production are scheduled to be completed in February 23 with all the permitting and the environmental certification and construction. We anticipate construction to start in June 2023. We have estimated the duration of construction for the project to be approximately 18 months. Our newest and cost estimate for shows a construction cost of $7.2 million based on the plans that we have prepared and right now. At this stage, we have a cost of $7.2 million. We have reached the question and comment session, and please, we will welcome any questions or comments that you may have. Yes. The first question that we have received from one of the participants is, what do the gutters drain into? The gutters draining into existing inlets. These existing inlets are provided in the areas where we have swales and also in the area where we have curb and gutter. And there is a drainage system, underground drainage system, that's connecting those inlets and conveying that water that's been collected, the runoff, what we call the runoff that's been collected, and it conveys it to two outfalls that we have on the project. One is at the L32 canal, and the other one is at the L33 canal. So all the water that's been collected in the drains will be conveyed and will be taken to outfall in those two canals. Is there any other question? Please, the next question is, please confirm the driveway size that will be installed on the west side of Barwick Road. The driveways, out of 17 driveways, I believe there are 12 driveways that are 15.5 feet in width and 23 feet in length. And there are 3 driveways. There's one driveway, the one that is at the intersection of Barwick and Pine Grove. It's a double driveway, and that driveway is 28 feet in width, and 28 feet in width, and also 28 feet in length. And we have 3 driveways that are 12 foot wide. Okay. But all the driveways are 23 feet in length to accommodate a standard size and the vehicle, and without overextending on the existing sidewalk. This is not enough for 2 cars, is what was discussed at the previous meeting. Yes, at the previous meeting, we had recommended, or we had looked at driveways that will be 17 feet in width and 18 feet in width. Again, based on the constraints that we encountered when we physically tried to connect to the existing ground, and what constraints that we had on either sides of the driveways, that at the angle that we designed the driveways, 15.5 feet was predominantly the width that we could get in there safely. We propose, again, this is this submittal, we propose to look at the width of the driveways again, and see if we can accommodate wider driveways at locations where the constraints are not so so less physical constraints, where we have less physical constraints. People will be parking. The next question is, people will be parking on the sidewalk, forcing pedestrians into the traffic. The side of the roadway has, mostly a full height curb and gutter in front of the sidewalk. So therefore, climbing, on top of the curb and gutter to park on the sidewalk is, is kind of difficult to do. So if they want to do it, they will. But again, this is the curb and gutter section. The only locations where the driveway will not be a full height curb will be at the location there's a drive, so that you can get into the driveway. But predominantly, this is a full height curb and gutter section that is will be located in front of the sidewalk. How do we get no standing signs at the end of Pine Grove Drive? We have parents parking by our stop sign, creating a safe situation. I believe that stopping in front of a stop sign is an illegal act. Again, there's a certain distance that you need to park from an intersecting street and parking in front of the stop sign. But we will look at, we will consult with city staff and see if we can, supplement, this area with some additional no parking signs and no standing signs. Again, we will take an additional site visit, and we will observe exactly, we have been out there several times before, and we'll continue to, to visit the site. And now that you've pointed that problem to us, we'll be looking for it and see what other probably solution there might be, in addition to adding additional signs. The question is, are all 8 new bus stops on the west side of Barwick Road? Yes, all the bus stops are on the west side of Barwick Road. There was a consultation with Palm Tran. During the design process, we consulted Palm Tran, wanted to find out if they wanted to relocate any bus stops, give them the opportunity to comment on the existing locations, and if they wanted to have new locations. And the existing location is what they came back with. They want to maintain the existing locations that currently exist now. Okay, they will be providing. We'll be providing part of this project, the curb pads, and the Palm Tran will be providing the new signs. On mute, Jason. On Jason.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Just want to thank everybody for coming. I just wanted to add one additional piece of information. The last slide, Gino had some cost information. The FHWA participating amount is subject to change. So I just wanted that to be clear. They've had some additional funds come through for projects, so we're awaiting the final amount, but those numbers are subject to change both up and down.
We would like to thank everybody, okay, for for participating in this public meeting. And we are still any additional questions or comment that you may have, you can always email it to the Dickey Consulting Services, and their email is on that slide, the last slide.
Well, if we don't have any additional questions, we're going to close the meeting. So thank you for your time. And if you do think of anything after the fact, please reach out to us and we'll be happy to assist you.